So today I wanted to let's talk about the Celtics. So the Celtics, we have Tatum and Brown. We got two good players, and we have a lot of other good players on the team. Porzingis and bunch of other role players. And I like the Celtics. I'm not from Boston, but sometimes you just like certain teams. And Celtics is just that type of team that you can fall in love with, that you can like. And I feel like this team is a pretty good team. The team could even be better. I feel like Tatum, he just doesn't have that killer instinct. I know he can do it. I know he has what he's like. He's like 6'8". He's a big guy. He has a good jump shot. He can take it to the rim, but he's just not assertive enough, you know? If he was more assertive, yeah, he'd be a dog. He just don't have that dog in him. And I feel like he can develop that because I see little flashes in him. He seems to he got to get angry or something like that. Then you see it in him. But I like him. He's a good, solid player. Brown, I thought before they even won the championship, I thought he was really the key. You know, I thought people was overlooking him a lot, and so I'm like, Brown is he's that guy. He definitely has the dog in him. He definitely is a good shooter. He can take it to the rack. Yeah, that's a good duo they got right there. And the team believed in them, kept them together. I think each of them are making like 300 million over the course of their contract. So they got paid. A lot of times when players get paid, they either get injured or they just chill, or they just don't live up to their contract. Some people, they just there to win for their legacy. Okay, they want their money, but that's not their main focus. Their main focus is their legacy. We're talking about guys like Kobe Bryant. We're talking about guys like Michael Jordan, who I consider to be the greatest at his position ever, and LeBron James. These guys, they don't play for the money. They play more for the glory, you know. Also, guy like Steph Curry, guy plays hard, man. That guy plays for that guy loves the game. Some guys you can look at them and say these guys, they love the game. Obviously, LeBron is at the top of that list because the guy is almost 40 and he's still playing at a really high level. You got to really put in a lot of work, a lot of time away from your family in order to be that good for so long. That means that guy, he loves the game. And Michael Jordan too. Michael Jordan, he retired. He won the 3 championships back to back, and then he retired. I don't think Michael really wanted to retire. I think Michael really wanted to go out on top. I think that's what it was. And he probably think if he came back for another year, it's a possibility he could lose, and he didn't want to do that, right? So when he retired, he realized that he loved the game so much. He needed it, and he came back. He took a year off. He came back. And when he came back, he won 3 more championships. The guy has a drive in him, And I guess that year off or 2 years, whatever he took off, he was rested, It's a lot of pressure when you're considered to be the best player on the team, and you have to perform every single night, and every news outlet is reporting on every move you make, every mistake you make. It's not easy. LeBron has been going through that for the past 20 years, and the scrutiny that you get. And it comes with the territory. You want to be the best, people are gonna scrutinize you and criticize you and micromanage everything you do, right? But these players they got the dog in them. They really want it bad. Tatum is like that. Not Tatum, sorry. Brown is like that. He has that drive. I think Tatum could definitely develop that, especially after this championship and after what he went through with the Olympics, because the coach Steve Kerr did not basically didn't want to play him in the friggin' Olympics. I don't know why. You know, I mean, he could have found a role for him. He is a good player. Okay, he just won a championship. He hit big shots. I don't know what's wrong with Steve Kerr. I don't know what really happened there. Um, but Brown, Tatum is, yeah. I would definitely want to play like that on my team, no doubt. But I do think that he hasn't reached his ceiling yet. I think this guy has where to go. I think Brown looks like he's pretty close to his ceiling, and that's a good thing because he just got that he got that dog in him. He got that drive, and yeah, he takes the game and he plays really hard. So I feel like Brown is good for the next couple of years. The worst thing about sports is injuries. When somebody get injured, it's just like, oh God, what if, what if, what if? Remember Grant Hill? That guy was a great, great player, man. And he got injured and it was a wrap. It was over. I mean, he couldn't play at to that level anymore. And we have a guy like Derrick Rose. And I was watching that Derrick Rose when he was playing, right? And I was like, this guy's going to get injured. Because this guy's going 100 miles an hour to the basket on almost every play to dunk on somebody, and to lay up. He's just going too hard. I know. I'm thinking to myself, he's going to come down one day on somebody's foot. He's going to come down on his own foot and he's going to twist it. Something's going to happen. I just knew it because the possibilities is like if you have a car, right? And every time you're driving 20 over the speed limit, no matter what. You're going to get in an accident one of these days. It's just the same thing. It's just the law of averages. So Derrick Rose ended up getting injured. I wasn't surprised about that. But what I was surprised is that he was never the same after the injury. Never the same. I mean, that guy was just, he won the MVP and he was just on fire, But he never looked like an MVP ever again. And he ended up to be a role player. And it's a lesson in humility. Like one day, not only for basketball players, but for us, common folks like us. One day you could be here, the next day you could be gone. One day you could be on top, next time you're not. So you gotta be a little humble and take everything in stride and all that. But Rose was an amazing guy. You know who I thought was playing similar to Derrick Rose in the sense of he's going hard to the basket every time? Westbrook. I saw Westbrook, and that guy, wow, that guy's like the Energizer Bunny. He has a lot of energy. I mean, it seems like he doesn't stop. And I was saying to myself, the way this guy goes, he can get injured. And I think he did get injured one time, but it didn't affect him as much as other people. But he's another story. But going back to the Celtics, I was rooting for them all season. As one of the teams that I did like very much, and I'm hoping that a lot of people, when you're on top, a lot of people root against you. Obviously, you got your fans in your city who love you, right? Because they're part of you. But then they got a lot of people from other cities that just hate you for no particular reason. It always happens. Once you're on top, you're going to get a lot of haters. I mean, so much that it's just so overwhelming, if you pay attention to it. I mean, if you look at Michael Jordan, he was more loved than hated, but I can't really judge that much because in his era, we didn't have social media to see what really people really think of him. The only thing that we really had was the newspaper. So we had the newspaper, and then we had people we speak to on the street, but we didn't get the full-fledged of the hate that LeBron is getting right now. A lot of other players. As soon as you get on top, as soon as you win that championship and people are saying you're the best, everybody comes out to try to criticize you in some way, form, or fashion, So Boston went through the season and they basically beat up on everybody They had a good season, regular season. But the regular season doesn't mean nothing if you don't do anything in the playoffs. The playoffs is where separate the sheep from the goats, the boys from the men. You know, so the playoffs came and some of the teams that they played had their main player was injured. They got Pacers. They played the Pacers. Halliburton was injured. I like that guy though, Halliburton. I liked him like 2 years ago. I'm like, this guy, I like his game. Okay, yeah, he's the truth, man. I do like him. So another guy, I think he's on the Kings. They're on Fox. There's some guys that I do like in the league. They're on Fox. He's good. Malik Monk. There's a bunch of them. I think I'll do a video with just the guys that I just like seeing play. But Celtics went through the season. We got to the playoffs, and they played a couple of teams, and the teams had injuries that they played, right? But the Celtics still had to. You still got to beat these teams, and these teams are NBA teams, and they have other players and all that. And the fact is that nobody's mentioning that the Celtics also had a major injury. Porzingis was injured practically most of the playoffs. And the thing about Porzingis is that this guy seems to be always injured. Those big guys, when you're 7 feet, it's more than likely that you will get injured for some reason. I don't know what it is. The bigger they are, the more likely to be injured. And everybody know that Porzingis have a history of getting injured, right? And he played most of the regular season. He got injured in the regular season. And the games that they couldn't play with him, they still won. They still won a lot of games without him. The team was just a good team. And but he was the key player. They traded Marcus Smart. And I really like Marcus Smart, man. I was really disappointed when they traded him. It's one of the guys. That guy got some heart, man. Guy's a good player. I like guys who got heart, who they don't give up. They play till the last whistle blow. That's Marcus Smart. You can tell that guy wore the Celtics on his sleeve, and it was just very sad when he got traded. Yeah. I wasn't happy about that at all. I still like the team, but I just if they lose, I'm going to be like, we should never trade Smart. But they didn't lose, but still, I still really upset that they traded him. But I kind of understood it because they got a guy like Porzingis he's a good basketball player, and he can shoot the three pretty good, 3-point shooter. As a 7-footer, and he's a good overall player. I mean, he blocks shots. He plays good. Porzingis is a good player. Problem with, as I said, with those type of guys, they get injured. So in the beginning of the playoffs, I mean, he came out and he played a couple of games. He got into the finals. I believe he played the first game, helped them win that game, which was huge. Okay. And they were going up against Kyrie and Luka. Got a story about those two. And then they took care of business. They took them out and won the championship. And everybody's saying that Celtics had an easy path to the championship. Listen, whether it was a little easier than some other teams or some other years, it really doesn't matter. I don't think any of that stuff is what you call easy, playing against players. Because a lot of times when you're playing against team, let's say one of the players are injured, some teams tend to play down to the level of that. You have to be locked in to keep yourself sure, to keep yourself sure that you're going to beat this team, even though this team don't have their best player with them. And teams who don't have their best player, they scrappy. They ain't got nothing to lose. So now they're playing differently. So yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy winning a game in the playoffs. It's not. No matter who you're really playing, okay? So people will try to hate on the Celtics, and they are. They try to hate on them a lot. But the fact is, they're NBA champions. And It was a great night. I was celebrating with them. I was very happy. I thought the team was an awesome team. I thought the management of Boston did a superb job putting the team together, and just like all the Eagles, the management of the Eagles, they put this team together. Obviously, once you put a team together, it's up to the guys to come out and play, because if you don't come out and play, you're not going to win. You're just not going to win on paper. Nobody wins on paper. You got to play the game. But I was really elated, man. I was so happy. Now, Brown, he won the MVP, and he won the Finals MVP, and he won the Conference MVP. And it was a correct call. He was the best player. Tatum played good, and I think Tatum scored more points, but in the key moments when they needed a basket, Brown is the one that was hitting those baskets. He was the one that was doing it. So Jaylen Brown, he was the man. This was his year. And this guy, he went in the gym, he practiced. He upped his game, he challenged himself, and that's why he ended up to be an NBA champion, MVP in the finals. Now, Tatum has a chance to do that possibly next year, possibly the year after that. He needs to get that dog in him. He needs to just don't care. You know what I'm saying? Go to the rack, just clear everybody out and dunk it and take care of business. That's he needs to get that attitude. Okay. But I thought the other key players for Boston, besides Brown, was Derek White. Derek White was my favorite player on the Boston Celtics. That guy is just, whoa. If I was to be an NBA player, that's what I want to be like. No, I don't want to be like Mike. Okay, maybe I want to be like Mike, but I can't be like Mike. Even if I was an NBA player, nobody would be like Mike. He's just too good. But if I was an NBA player, I'd like to be like Derrick Rose, man. Sorry, did I say Derrick Rose? Derek White. Sorry. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be Derrick Rose because going 100 miles an hour to the basket every minute, yeah, injuries. Derek White, that's the man. If I was wearing a jersey, it would be a Derek White jersey. The guy showed up. The guy hit big shots. The guy's a role player that most people never even heard of, okay? And he's hitting big shot after big shot. He's open. The ball's passing around. They got a couple of seconds on the clock. He pulls up and he hits the three. Amazing player, man. Amazing. The guy looked like he could be a legitimate star. I'm not going to lie to you. He looks like he can be a star in his own right. The thing about Boston is they pay their players. They pay them. So they basically paid everybody. Everybody got paid. So I can't wait to see if this team has that hunger for next year, because everybody got money now. So, but the guy that they got from Drew Holiday. Oh my goodness! After Derek White, my next favorite player is Drew Holiday. Man, that guy's amazing. You ever see a guy who has excellent basketball IQ? That's Drew Holiday. He's like a mini LeBron. LeBron IQ is on 1,000, okay? And we're going to talk about LeBron all the time. Not a lot of people hate LeBron, but LeBron is the truth, man. But Drew Holiday, whoa. That guy's hitting shots. That guy's passing, making the right pass. And he's playing defense like his life depends on it. Just like Derek White. Derek White was diving on the ground for balls. He got his teeth knocked out. These are the kind of players you want. Like when you got your team, when you got your starting five, right? You say, yeah, this is my guys. It raises your confidence when you got guys like that on your team. When you got guys that I did a video and I was kind of hard on Patrick Ewing, and I want to kind of take some of that back. I did think Patrick Ewing was, he really disappointed me. But in defense of him, you know, he didn't have a good team with him. He didn't have a team that could help raise his confidence. He wasn't sure when he passed the ball to Anthony Mason or any of those other guys. He didn't sure they were going to hit the shots, and most of the time they didn't hit the shots. The team just didn't. There was always one shot away from winning and one missed finger roll from, disappointing. I just feel if he had better players around him, his confidence would have been higher. He probably wouldn't have missed that finger roll. It would have been a better team. But he had some mediocre players, and I was pretty hard on him. But I've never been a professional player, and I can't be too hard on these guys. But it does get me upset when a 7-footer can't make a layup. You know what I'm saying? It really gets me upset. But Drew Holiday and Derek White was a key reason why the Boston Celtics were so good for the entire regular season and the playoffs. Okay? Because teams now, they got to worry about Tatum, right? They got to worry about Brown. They got to worry about Derek White. They got to worry about Drew Holiday. They got to worry about Peyton Pritchard and the other shooter, I forgot his name. Like, you got to worry about everybody that come on the court is good. Okay? So it's difficult guarding a team like that. Just like how with the Eagles now, with that team that they have now. It's going to be hard for other teams to match up against them, to guard them. Trust me. We're going to see. But, yeah, it was difficult. And if Porzingis was healthy, they would have basically annihilated the league. They would have. If Porzingis was healthy for the entire regular season and the playoffs, they would have swept most of those teams. I'm telling you. They would have. Because you got to worry about Porzingis, a guy who could play in the paint and shoot the 3 and shoot the 2, the mid-range. You're in trouble. Then you got Tatum hitting trees left and right with his eyes closed. You got Brown playing like he's Michael Jordan. You got Derek White hitting big threes. And then you got friggin' Drew Holiday. Like, Milwaukee Bucks is just crying that they let that guy go. Okay? Because they got Damian Lillard, right? And most people said it was a good trade, but it's not looking like a good trade right now. Let's see what they do this year. If they don't do nothing this year, that would be a terrible trade for them because the guy that they traded went to their competitor and won a championship the same year. Not good. Not good for Milwaukee, I'm telling you. Now we got Giannis. He seems to be getting injured every other season or so. I like Giannis a lot. He got a lot of physical abilities. Seems to be pretty long. I don't know. What, he's like 6'11"? He's like almost 7 feet. And yeah, he take 2 steps and he's at the basket. He's dunking that ball. Yeah, he's not doing any finger rolls or nothing. You better watch out. Yeah. So Giannis is a good player. Problem with Giannis is his jump shot. But we're not talking about Giannis today. But I'm really, really happy for the Celtics. They did it. It's not easy winning an NBA championship. We got so many good players that has come and gone, never won a championship. So many people, quote unquote, say great players. I don't think a player is really great until he wins a championship. I personally don't think that. I think you could be good, really good. But in order to be great, you got to have that trophy, So we got guys like John Stockton and Karl Malone and a whole bunch of other people. Charles Barkley used to put up big numbers. He never won anything. So I just think that winning a championship is going down in history now, So I'm very happy for that team. And I can't wait to see what they do next year. So let me take some shots. Let's see what my shot looks like. Let me see if the Boston Celtics, if Derek White get injured, let's see if they're gonna trade for me. Uh-huh. First shot went in. Ah, come on. Let's start over. That's 3 straight. Ooh. Four straight. Five straight. I think they could trade for me now. I think the Celtics could get me on the roster. Oh, come on. Okay, maybe they can't get me on the roster. Maybe not. Let me see. Come on, baby. You gotta hit this shot. Okay, that's 2 misses in a row from the same spot. I gotta hit this one. Got to hit this one. Oh no. I knew that was off as soon as he got off my hands. 3 misses in a row. That's not good. That is not good. I don't think I'm going to be on the Celtics anytime soon. Unfortunately. That's good. Can't believe I'm missing the shot. This is a pretty easy shot. Should we go in? Let's get close. Let's get close. That's 2. 3. Ah. Yeah, I'm not shooting good today at all. Not shooting good today. But I don't give up. I always think my next shot is going to be going in. Always. Next shot is always going in. That's how shooters think. Yeah. You need to have a short memory. You want to be a good shooter. Ah! Okay. That's it for this one. I'll see y'all on the next one. Listen, if you're in Jersey and you want to play with me, send me a DM. Let's play. All right?